This is my Health Talk series, episode 4. Our today's guest is Catriona, the immunologist at the Peter Doherty Institute for Infection and Immunity. And she's singing immunologist as well. So stay with us until the end of this episode and we will have a little surprise for you. Oh yeah, with a lovely ukulele. It is already known that the optimal immune function is dependent on healthy immune system. Therefore, we need proper immune function to be able to fight off the diseases. How can we achieve that?
Basically, if you're not sick, your immune system is functioning, and usually we just need to let our immune system do its thing. The reason why, particularly with COVID-19, people are falling sick is because this is a virus that our immune system hasn't seen before. So it's just taking a little bit of time to set up. So in terms of how our immune system would fight this virus, there are two kind of aspects. So the first is the innate immune system and the second is the adaptive immune system. So innate is innate, it's always there and it's present. They're like foot soldiers and sort of see that it's a virus and attack as though it's a virus, but not specific. And then you have your adaptive immune cells, which are like snipers, and they specifically target molecules on the virus. So one that researchers really want to target is called the spike protein, which is on the virus that helps the virus enter our cells. So if we can block that with our immune system or with drugs, then that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So often people are asking, what's the herd immunity? How it can be acquired?
So herd immunity is basically community protection against an infectious disease. And the idea is that the more people who have immunity, who are protected, the less likely that the virus is to spread between different people. So if you think of anyone who has immunity as holding up a shield and it's just bounce, 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 the virus can't go anywhere. So for example, the measles, that's very highly transmissive or transmissible, and it spreads, and we need about 90% of people to have protective immunity. So they already have immune cells that are ready to fight that virus. And so epidemiologists think we need about 70%, so less than measles, but still quite high. If we have that level of people who are protected, then it won't be able to spread between everyone else anymore. So hopefully we can generate a vaccine that sort of gets that level of protection in people.
How long it would need approximately the vaccine to be ready for COVID-19?
That's a good question. I think when people say 12 to 18 months, that's probably quite optimistic, because you not only have to think about the immune system and how the immune system responds to the virus, but you also have to test the safety and the efficacy, how well the vaccine works. And usually that takes months to years, just in general. The Ebola vaccine came out reasonably quickly last time we had the Ebola outbreak. So hopefully with people around the world working on it,
yeah, there's a lot of research going on currently in most parts of the world. So let's hope for that. I would like to ask about cytokine storm. The name itself tells us how devastating it sounds. What does it mean?
Yeah, so basically cytokines are what immune cells use to communicate to one another. They're just messengers. But what's happening in a cytokine storm is that the immune system is going into overdrive and you have too much inflammation, and that starts causing damage to all of your tissues. So because of the cytokine storm, your body is making inflammation happen sort of everywhere in the body, even in healthy tissues. So that's really bad. But also what happens when you have inflammation is that your blood vessels get leaky. And the point of that is so that immune cells go out of the blood to where they're needed. But if that's happening all over the body, your blood pressure drops as well. So that's a bad thing. And the lungs can sort of fill up with fluid with all the blood going in there. So that's why it can lead to multiple infections.
The overreaction of the immune system, basically.
Pretty much. And people are thinking that maybe we'll be able to treat the severe cases by blocking that.
Yeah, really challenging right now.
Yeah.
Let's debunk the myths about the vaccination. Some people are intimidated about vaccines. For instance, they think MMR vaccine could cause autism. How true is that? And what are the pros and cons of immunization?
Well, when you ask immunologists whether there are pros and cons, really, you're only thinking it's pros. There are only pros.
Yeah. Right.
So that idea that the MMR vaccine is related or linked to autism, that was from a paper that came out last century. So it's really like last century's data. And since then, the people who said that have withdrawn it and said, no, that's wrong. And so many studies more recently have shown that there is no link. The pro about a vaccine is that it's helping you to build your immunity to pathogens, so bacteria and viruses, without actually having to get sick. So your immune system can learn to recognize it and build an army of immune cells as defenses to launch an attack if it ever comes along really quickly. Because we have what's called a primary response. So the first time you respond to something, it can be slow, which is why you might be sick for like a week. Whereas the second time, the second response is always bigger, better, faster. So that's what's really good about vaccines. I guess if there were any cons, some things that you might have to acknowledge is that you have a sore arm after you get vaccinated. And that's actually because it's working. You've got inflammation.
There's a reaction going on. It means immune system responding. We almost covered briefly everything. And before you go, let's have a listen. Catriona singing for us her new song premiered in Health Talk series episode 4.
Righty. So this is about all of the COVID research that's going on.
Awesome.
Solving COVID-19 while in quarantine, putting the puzzle together, looking for a cure or vaccine, cause we're really keen to get out of our houses. All of us are trying to stop virus transmission, but it's really hard if you can't tell your condition. About 40% are from people with no sign. They go about their daily lives thinking they're fine. For all the other people who get really sick, we're trying different drugs to help you feel better quick. Solving COVID-19 while in quarantine, putting the puzzle together, looking for a cure or vaccine, cause we're really keen to get out of our houses.
Awesome. Thank you so much.